Hi everyone, welcome back to Singing How to Study Chinese. This is HSK Level 1 course and I am your teacher Ronnie. Today we are going to learn lesson 4, 第4课。他是我的汉语老师。他是我的汉语老师 which means she is my Chinese teacher. Now let's move on to our first part, warm up. So we can see here are 6 pictures and 6 new words. Now first let's look at the new words. First one is 他, ta, the initial t and the final ta. Okay, now read after me. Ta, it means he, or it can mean just someone, random person who you cannot be sure of his or her gender. Okay, so this is ta. Next one, the pronunciation is the same. It is still ta, but the character is a little bit different. So it means she or her, ta. So this one means he or just someone, and this one means her, she. The next word is 同学, 特翁同, 西约学, 同学, read after me please. 同学, it means classmate. Okay, next one is 朋友, 朋,友, it is 朋友. And the second word, second character, yo is neutral tone, so we should read it soft and quick. Okay, read after me please. 朋友, it means friend. Next one is 汉语老师, 喝暗汉, 一语语, 了熬老, 诗一诗, 汉语老师, it means Chinese teacher. Now read after me. 汉语老师. Okay, last one is 中国朋友. This one is really easy to guess its meaning. 中国 we've already learned it means China, right? China. And 朋友 we've learned it here. It means friend. So this one, 中国朋友 means Chinese friends. Now I will give you 15 seconds. Try to fill in the blanks. Okay, time's up. Now let's see. First one, 他. This one means he or just someone, not without indicating any gender. So this one might be B. Yes, B. 他. Because he is obviously a male. And actually, this 他 can only mean a single one person. Okay, one person. We are going to learn the plural version of 他 later. Okay, so this one is B. Next one, she, 她, she, her. Which one? I think there are 2 answers, which is D and E. They're all females. Next, 同学, classmates. It is C. We can see they're in a classroom. Next one, 朋友, which means friends. So A and F, they all can be friends. The atmosphere is really friendly here. Okay, next one, 汉语老师. Which one? I think D is 汉语老师 because we can see she's holding a pen and there is a whiteboard after her and there are Chinese on the whiteboard. Okay, last one, 中国朋友 is A because they look like Chinese. Okay, this is our warm-up. Now let's move on to our first part, text. second part, text and the new words. So first new word is 她, which is she and her. We just come across it in the warm-up part. So this is she, her, 她, 她. And the plural form of 她 is 她们. We just need to put a 们 after it, then we can get a they, and they're all females. So this 们, more and 们, it is a neutral tone, so we need to read it soft and quick, soft and quick. 她们 means they, and they're all females. Now try to make a sentence. They're all Chinese by using they. They are Chinese. They are Chinese. Okay, try to make this sentence. 3, 2, 1. The answer is 他们是中国人。他们是中国人。We just learned 是 in lesson 3, which means to be. And the thing before and after 是, they are equal, right? They are equal. So when I say they are Chinese, then I just need to put they and Chinese in these two parts. One is 他们 and one is 中国人. So 他们是中国人 means they are Chinese. 中国人 means Chinese. Okay. Now try to guess how to say we. We've learned I before, right? We've learned I. I is 我. Still remember the pronunciation of me or I is 我. 我. It is a third tone word, and try to guess how to say we. It is 我们. 我们. So we can see here, 们 is the plural version for the pronouns. Okay, 我们 means we. And still remember how to say him or he. It is 他, the same pronunciation, right? 他. And the plural form of 他 is 他们. 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 Okay, this 他们 can mean they, and they can be only males, or this 他们 can be used when you are not sure the gender of this group of people. Okay, so this is 他, 他, and 他们. Next word is 谁, 是 a, 谁. The initial is 是, the final is a, and the tone is second tone. Read after me. 是 a, 谁, 谁, 谁. It means who or whom. It is an interrogative pronoun. Okay, who or whom. Next one is 的, 的, 的. The initial 的, and the final and the tone is neutral tone. So we need to read it soft and quick. But for you guys to can hear it clearly, I will read it more stronger. But you should read it soft and quick, okay? So this is 的. Read after me. 的. It means it is a particle. It means something or someone belongs to something or someone. Okay. It is used after an attribute, which means something belongs to something or someone belongs to someone. For example, when you want to say A's B, then in Chinese it is A 的 B. A 的 B. So 的 is just the same as English this. Z. Okay. For example, we've learned teacher is 老师, right? So teacher leads student. Student is 学生, right? 学生, student. So teacher leads student is 李老师的学生 in Chinese. 李老师 means teacher Li, and student 学生. So 李老师的学生的 here is this thing. Okay, now let's move on to the last new word for text 1, which is 汉语. 河岸汉一语语汉语 Read after me, please. 汉语汉语汉语 It means Chinese, and it is the language, not Chinese people, okay? Chinese language. 汉语汉语 Okay, now let's try to read it from the start, each word twice. 3, 2, 1. 他谁的汉语 Very good. Now let's move on to the text. I will read it once and please pay attention to the pronunciation. 他是谁？他是我的汉语老师，他叫李月。Okay, let's see the grammars in it. So first one, 他是谁? It is a question. It is a question, which means who is she? We just learned 他 means she, and 是 we learned last lesson. It means to be. So 他是谁? Actually, in the sentence order, we can see it is she is who? She is who? Which means who is she? Who is she? And be answered, 他是我的汉语老师. So here first, the subject is 他 she, and the verb is 是. 是 means to be, and 我的汉语老师 is the object, and 我的 means my, 我 means me. 我 means me and I. And 我的 we just learned it means something or someone belongs to something or someone. So 我的 means my. And 汉语老师 is Chinese teacher. Okay, Chinese teacher. And 他叫李月. This structure is what we learned in lesson 3 too. 她叫李月, which means her name is 李月. Her name is 李月. 叫 means call or to be called. To call or to be called. And this structure, somebody plus 叫 and plus a name is it means someone's name is something. Okay, 她叫李月. Okay, from these two sentences, what can you see? The structures of these two sentences. We can see at the beginning, they're all started with the subject 他, right? And then is the predicate. In the predicate, the verb is all 是, and the object is 谁 and 我的汉语老师. So we can see the word order of these two sentences are the same. Although one is question and one is an answer. One is an answer. One is an interrogative sentence and one is an declarative sentence. Their word orders are the same. So in Chinese, it is really easy to ask a question because it is the same. The word order is the same as the declarative sentence. So now let's try to read it from the start, okay? Read with me, okay? 3, 2, 1. 他是谁？他是我的汉语老师，他叫李月。Okay, this time I will be A and you will be B. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 他是谁？ Very good. Now let's switch the role. Okay, you will be A and I will be B. 3, 2, 1。他是我的汉语老师，他叫李月。Very good. Now let's move on to text 2. The first new word for text 2 is na, na. The initial n, the final a, and the tone is the third tone. Na. Read after me, please. Na. It is a pronoun and it means which. Na. Okay, next new word is 歌我国. The initial 歌, the final 我, and the tone is second tone. Put them together. 歌我国. Read after me, please. 国. It means country or nation. So when I want to ask which country, then it is 哪国. We just need to connect these two characters. Okay, 哪国 means which country. Now try to say which country's person. We learned how to say human and person before. So it is 哪国人. 哪国人 means which country's person. Okay, 人 means person, human. 人. Don't forget it. Okay. Now try to say, try to ask the question. Where are you from? The answer is 你是哪国人? We just said 哪国人 means which country's person. So when I want to ask where are you from, it actually means which country are you from or which country's person you are. So this sentence becomes 你是哪国人? You is the subject of this sentence and 是 is the verb of this sentence. Okay, and 哪国人 is the object of this sentence. Okay, now try to remember how to say China. China is 中国, and America is 美国. Very good. Okay, last new word of text 2 is 呢. The initial n and the final and it is a neutral tone which we should pronounce it soft and quick. Okay, read after me. N. Okay, it is a particle. And it is usually used at the end of a question. Okay, now let's read it from the start, each for twice. 3, 2, 1. 哪国呢. Very good. Now let's move on to the text. I'm going to read it and please listen carefully. 你是哪国人? 我是美国人。你呢? 我是中国人。Okay, let's see. First sentence. 你是哪国人? We just learned it means where are you from? 你 is the subject of this whole sentence and 是 is the verb and 哪国人 is the object for the verb and this part is the predicate of this whole sentence. 你是哪国人? Which country are you from? And be answered. 我是美国人。me. 是 to be, I am 美国人 American, I am American. 你呢? 你 means you and 呢 we just learned it is a particle used at the end of a question and 呢 actually is used to ask a question about something mentioned before and for this sentence 你呢 something mentioned before is the nationality, right? The nationality, 美国人. So, 你呢 actually is asking about What's your nationality? Where are you from? Where are you from? What about you? What about you? And A answered, 我是中国人。我是中国人。I am Chinese. I am Chinese. 我是中国人。Okay, this is a really easy text. Now let's read it from the start. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 你是哪国人？我是美国人。你呢？我是中国人。Very good. This time I will be A and you will be B. Okay? 3, 2, 1. 你是哪国人？我是中国人。Very good. Now let's switch the role. You will be A and I will be B. Okay? 3, 2, 1. 我是美国人。你呢？Excellent, excellent. Now let's move on to the last text. Text 3. Okay, let's see the new words. First one is 他, not a new word. We just learned it when we are studying the 他, woman 他. And this is the man 他, which means he or him, he or him. Okay, 他, read up me. 他. Next one is 同学, 特翁同, 西学学. The initial 特 and the final and the tone, second tone. Put them together. 同. Initial 西, final 约, yu, okay, 约, and the tone is second tone. 学, 同学. Read after me, please. 同学means classmate. Classmate. So try to say, we are classmates. We are classmates. We've learned how to say we, which is 我们, and are is 是, we are. 我们是 classmates, 同学. So this sentence is 我们是同学. We are classmates. Okay. And how to say they are classmates. They are classmates. It is 他们是同学. Very good. Very good. Last one is 朋友. Okay, 朋友. It is 朋, yo, and yo is neutral tone. Neutral tone. We need to read it soft and quick. Okay. 朋友. Read after me, please. 朋友. It means friends. And how to say Chinese friend? Chinese friend. It is 中国朋友. Yes, 中国朋友. So American friend is 美国朋友. Very good. 美国朋友. Now let's try to read it from the start, each word twice, okay? 3, 2, 1. 他同学朋友. Now let's move on to the text. I'm gonna read it and please listen carefully. Okay, first one. 他是谁？他是我同学。他呢？他是你同学吗？他不是我同学。他是我朋友。Okay, for this text can be a little bit tricky. Now let's see it one by one. See the sentences one by one. First one, 他是谁? Really easy. It means who is he? Who is he? And answer is 他是我同学. He is my classmate. So still remember how to say my in Chinese? I am I. How to say I? It is 我, right? 我 and my is 我的. We just learned the is this thing in English, right? So why there is no the here? Why there is no the here? So please remember this question in your brain because we're going to learn it in the language point part later, okay? There is no the here. We just need to know it is 我同学, my classmate, my classmate. So he is my classmate. Next sentence. 他呢? We learned 呢 is a question mentioned before, right? 呢 is used to ask a question mentioned before. And before we are asking about someone's identity, right? Identity. And this identity question is about her. And in case this person doesn't understand this question, we said another question. 他是你同学吗? 他 she 是 or she is 你同学. 你同学 means your classmate. 你 means you. 你同学 means your classmate. So 他是你同学吗? Is she your classmate? And ma is what we learned before. It is a particle. It is a particle used at the end of a question. Okay, so whenever there is a ma, it is a question. The sentence must be a question. Okay, next sentence. 他不是我同学。他不是。不是 is the negative form of 是. It means no. She is not my classmate. 我同学 my classmate. And what is she? She is my friend. 她是我朋友。朋友 means friend. 我朋友 my friend. My friend. Okay, now let's read it from the start. 3, 2, 1. 他是谁？他是我同学。他呢？他是你同学吗？他不是我同学。他是我朋友。Okay, let's role play. I will be A and you will be B. 他是谁？他呢？他是你同学吗？ Very good. Now let's switch the role. I will be B and you will be A. Okay? 3, 2, 1. 他是我同学。他不是我同学，他是我朋友。Very good, excellent. Now let's move on to the language point part to answer some questions in our brain. So first one is the interrogative pronoun 谁 and 哪, these two interrogatives. And 谁 is used to ask question about someone's name or someone's identity. For example, first example here, 谁是李月? 谁是李月? So this is asking about who is Li Yue, right? Who is Li Yue? We already know the name of this person, but we don't know which person is Li Yue. Who is Li Yue? Next one. 他是谁? 他是谁? So this question is, who is she? Who is she? In this case, we already know this person, but we don't know this person's identity and name, right? That's why we are asking, who is she? The next one, 他是谁? The same as the second one, it means who is he? Who is he? So we can see the structure of this 谁 questions. Okay, we can see the structure is 谁 which means who, plus a verb. It is usually 是, right? 是 plus a verb and plus a object for it. Object for the verb. Or another structure is the subject plus a verb plus 谁. Okay, this is the two structures for this 谁 sentences, 谁 questions. Okay, now let's see another thing. You can see sometimes 谁 is at the subject position and sometimes it is at the object position. So it means 谁 can be both parts in the sentence, both elements. It can be the subject and it can be the object. But when will it be the subject and when will it be the object? We can see here, this one. 谁是李月? For this situation here, we already know the identity, right? We already know the identity or the name. We know the name, 李月, but we don't know who. So here, when we don't know who and we know the identity, we will put 谁 at the subject part. But when we don't know the identity, we will put 谁 at the identity part, okay? This is 谁 questions. The interrogative pronoun 谁. Okay, try to make a sentence. Try to make a sentence. Who are you? Who are you? Okay, the answer is 你是谁? 你是谁? Not 谁是你? Not 谁是你? Because we don't know the identity of you, but we know this person, right? We know this person, him or herself, but we don't know the identity of this person. That's why I put 谁 at the object part. 你是谁? 你是谁? Okay, this time try to ask a question. Who is Ronnie? Who is Ronnie? This question, let's try to make it. This time we already know the identity, we know the name. Then the answer is 谁是 Ronnie, right? 谁是 Ronnie? Very good, very good. So this is the interrogative pronoun 谁. Now let's move on to next interrogative pronoun, which is 哪. 哪 means which. 哪 means which. It is used as the questions to require to determine one among several things or several people. And the structure of it is 哪plus a measure word or a noun, and plus a noun. It is the structure. Now let's see the examples. First example is 哪本书? 哪本书? 哪 here means which. 本 means a measure word. It is a measure word for books or things look like books. Okay? 哪本书? 书 means book. 本 is 本 third tone word, and 书 book, 事物书, 哪本书. So we can see first here is 哪 and then a measure word and then a noun here. 哪本书 which book. Okay, next example is 哪个人? 哪个人? 哪 here and 个 is the measure word. It is a measure word for almost everything. It is a really common measure word, okay? It is a general one. You can use it to describe many things, but don't always use it to describe a person because it is not that polite. But for this occasion, it is okay, okay? Now, 哪个人 means which person. Okay, last one. 你是哪国人? Now let's just ignore 你是. We just see 哪国人 here. 哪 which. 国 here, it is a noun, right? It is a noun, which means country, nation. And another noun is 人 哪国人 哪国人 means which country's person, which country's person. And when I put 你是 before it, then the sentence become where are you from? Where are you from? Okay, this is the interrogative 哪 Okay, now let's move on to next part. Next language point, which is the structural particle 的 structural particle 的 which is neutral tone. Don't forget it, neutral tone. So it is actually indicates the possession belongs to something or somebody. Okay, and the structure of it is the noun or pronoun plus a 的 and plus a noun. It is the structure of it. Now let's see. First one. 李月是我的老师. So let's just ignore 李月是. Just see 我的老师. 我的老师 in this sentence, 我 is the pronoun, right? 我的 means this. And 老师 means teacher. So 我的老师 means my teacher. My teacher. Okay? So 李月是我的老师 means 李月 is my teacher. Next one. 这是我的书. 书 we just learned it. It means book. 我的书 means my book. My book. And 这 the initial the final the tone, second tone. It means this. This is my book. 这是 this is my book. 我的书我 the pronoun here and the book the noun here. 我的书 my book. Last example is 他不是我同学，他是我朋友。他不是我同学，他是我朋友。Did you see anything strange? Did you find anything strange? There is no 的 here, right? 他不是我同学，他是我朋友。No 的 here, but we use it as an example for 的 because 的 is omitted here. It actually should be 他不是我的同学，他是我的朋友。Actually, it should be like this, but 的 is omitted. Why? Because when the noun or pronoun after 的 is a kinship or indicates a person, then 的 can be omitted. Okay? 同学 here, classmate, is a person, right? 朋友 here is a 朋友 friend is a person too. That's why we omitted 的 here. We don't need to say 我的同学. We can just say 我同学. It is enough. So when you want to say my mother, then you can just say 我妈妈. You don't need to say 我的妈妈. Okay? It is the same as the other kinship in your family. This is the structural particle 的. Now let's move on to next one. Is the interrogative particle 呢. It is always usually used at the end of a sentence, at the end of a question, and to ask a question about something mentioned before. And the most common structure is A blah blah, and the sentence finished, and then B 呢. A blah blah, B 呢. Okay, now let's see the examples. First example. 我不是老师，我是学生。你呢？我不是老师，我是学生。你呢？ It means I am not teacher. 我不是老师 teacher. I am student 学生 student. 你呢？ What about you? 你呢？ It is asking about the identity we've mentioned before, right? Okay, next one is 她叫李月。她呢 her name is 李月。What about him? It is asking about his name, his identity. Last example, 我是美国人。你呢 I am American. What about you? It is asking about your nationality. Nationality is mentioned before. Okay, it is really easy one. It is really easy one. So we are not gonna spend too much time on it. Now let's just move on to next one. Try to answer the questions according to the actual situations of yourself. Okay, first question is 你是哪国人？你是哪国人？ If you don't know how to say your country's name, you can try to Google it or try to find it in the dictionary, okay? 你是哪国人？ For example, if I will answer this question, I will say 我是中国人 in this structure, right? Try to answer this question. 你是哪国人？ Okay, next question. 你叫什么名字？你叫什么名字？ So this question actually means, what's your name? 名字 means name, okay? 名字 means name. 你叫什么名字？ What's your name? So let's answer the question. 我叫 Ronnie. 我叫 Ronnie. Okay, next question is 你的汉语老师是哪国人？你的汉语老师是哪国人？ This question actually means your Chinese teacher is which country's person, which means where are your Chinese teacher from? Where are your Chinese teacher from? So how to answer it? You should say, my Chinese teacher is which country's person, right? So in Chinese it is 我的汉语老师是中国人 Okay, very good. 我的汉语老师是中国人 or 我的汉语老师是美国人我的汉语老师是韩国人 as well. These are all right. Try to answer these questions according to your own situation. Next question is 你的汉语老师叫什么名字？你的汉语老师叫什么名字？ So this question means, what's your Chinese teacher's name? What's your Chinese teacher's name? You try to answer it. Answer it with me, okay? 我的汉语老师叫 Ronnie. This is an example for the answer. Okay, last question. 你的中国朋友是谁？你的中国朋友是谁？ It means, who is your Chinese friend? Who is your Chinese friend? 你的中国朋友 means your Chinese friend. So, try to answer this question. I will give an example. It is, 我的中国朋友是李月。我的中国朋友是李月。Okay, these are all for the questions for today. And let's move on to next part. Let's do some exercises. First, we can see here is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. Okay, now let's fill in the blanks. First one, 他是乔布斯。七爻乔，波物布，斯伊斯，乔布斯。It is the translation of Jobs in Chinese, okay? 乔布斯。Read after me. 他是乔布斯。他是乔布斯 means he is Steve Jobs. And 他是 What 人？他是什么人？ He is from America, so America is 美国人。Very good. 美国，他是乔布斯，他是美国人。Okay, next sentence. Let's see. Who is she? She is Lina, a tennis player. And here is the sentence. 她是李娜，她是李娜。She is Lina. And she is which country? Which country is she from? She is from China. So let's fill in the blank. 她是中国人。Very good. 她是中国人。Okay, next. 她叫玛丽。她叫玛丽。玛丽 is the Chinese translation for Mary. Okay, 她叫玛丽。她不是我 something. 她是我 something. So this is what should we put here? We can see these two people. They are in a really friendly mood. They are chatting. So they might be friends and they might be not like student-teacher relationship, right? So try to fill in the blanks. 她叫玛丽，她不是我老师 or 她不是我学生，她是我朋友 She is my friend. 她是我朋友。The next one, last exercise. 他叫大卫，his name is David. 大卫 is the Chinese translation for David. 他是我们的 He can be anything, anybody you want to be. For example, maybe your friend, 朋友 or teacher, 老师 or 学生 student. Okay, so the blank can be 他是我们的朋友，他是我们的老师，他是我们的学生。Okay, now let's move on to next part. The differentiation of the pronunciation of the initials 知、吃、诗 and 日. These four initials. So for 知、吃、诗、日, these are all initials pronounced by roll up our tongue like this. Roll up. For 知 and 吃, these two, the tongue position are the same. Okay, 知 and 吃, these two. The tongue position are the same. We need to rise up our tongue and make our tip of tongue touch the upper gum, the hard palate, okay, hard palate, and immediately leave a gap to make the air go through. So it is 知 and 吃, and the difference between 知 and 吃 is the air. For 知, the air is soft, and 吃, the air is much stronger, okay? 知, 吃. You can try to practice it by yourself. And for 诗, the tip of your tongue won't touch the upper palate, the hard palate. It will always leave a gap here, okay? 知, 吃, 诗. Next one is 日. For 日, the tongue position is the same as 诗 here, 诗. But the only difference is we need to vibrate our vocal cord. Okay, read after me. 日, 日. You can try to put your fingers here. 日. You can find it. It is vibrating really strong, really strong. So now use some examples to practice. Okay. Read after me. Read after me. Okay. Read after me. First one. 知识, 知识. We don't need to know all the meanings of these words. We are just using the pronunciation of them to practice. Okay? 知识. Next one. 厨师. 厨师. Next one. 生日. 生日. Next. 上车. 上车. Next. 认识. 认识. Next. 常识，常识。 Next. 事实 事实 Next. 超人 超人 Next. 燃烧燃烧 Next. 热闹热闹 Next. 出差出差 Next. 长城长城 Next. 手术手术 Next. 商场商场 Next. 超市超市 Next. 充值充值 Okay, very good. Now let's move on. The n and these two finals, these two pronunciation of alveolar nasal and alveolar nasal. Okay, these two for this one. We've learned it before. We will rise up the former part of our tongue. Okay, rise it up. And make your tongue touch the upper palate of your upper gum. Okay, touch it here. Touch it here. Okay. Read after me. And for this one, you can see we rise up the back part of our tongue. Rise it up and try to use your nose too. Try to use your nose too. And the shape of your mouth will be more wide open than this one. Okay, try. Okay, this can be not that clear, so we are going to use these two groups of finals to practice it. Okay, listen and try to read after me. First one, next, you can see my mouth is more wide open when I wanna say this one. When I wanna say Next is yen. This yang. Next, one. Next, wong. Next, you can see my tongue is rising up to touch the upper gum. Next, this time my tongue is not rising up to touch it, right? Next, in. Next, in. Next, one. Last one, wong. Very good. So this is the alveolar and velar nasal. Now let's move on to the tone sandy of E. Tone sandy of E. We've learned the tone sandy of boo before, right? Boo, which is it will change when it is before the fourth tone. When boo is before fourth tone syllable, it will change from fourth tone into second tone, right? For example, 不会 Okay, now let's learn the tone sandy of E. There are 3 rules of it. First one, when E is before the first, the second, and the third tone, E will change to fourth tone. It will change from the first tone into the fourth tone. For example, 一张 means one piece, one sheet. 一张. It changed from E into E. The next one, 一条. 条 is second tone, right? So it changed to fourth tone. Last one, 一种 zhong is third tone and e changed into e. 一种 Okay, and when it is before fourth tone syllable, it will change to second tone. Okay? For example, first one, 一定 Ding is the fourth tone, so it changed into second tone. Next, 快 一块 means one piece. Kuai is fourth tone, so it changed into second tone. So some of you might be really confusing. Then why it will change in front of all of the tones? Then why E is its standard tone is the first tone? That's because there are situations when E is used as the first tone itself. Let's see here. When E is used alone or in a number, it is the first tone itself. It won't change. For example, like 第一, E in 第一, it means first. So E won't change. Next, 一二三 means 1, 2, 3. It is used in numbers, so it won't change too. Next one, 星期一, it means Monday, so it won't change too. Next one, 十一, it is number 2, so it doesn't change. It means 11. Last one, 百分之一, it means 1%. It still won't change because it is used in number. Okay, so this is the tone sandy of E. When E is before the first, the second, and the third, it will change to the fourth tone. But when E is before fourth tone, it will change to second tone. And when it is used alone and used in a number, then it won't change. It is the first tone. Okay, now let's move on. Move on to the next part. The rules of pinyin, the use of these two initials, E and U. For this is E, for this is U. And the rule is like this. When the finals begin with E, U, U, finals begin with these three, when they have no initials but they can make a syllable, then we will put E and U before it, okay, when we're writing it. For example, first situation, when the final begins with E, and here, E, in, and in these three finals all started with, or begins with E, right? We will write it as this. We just put this initial before it. For example, for this character, E, it means 1, right? It means 1. Actually, the pronunciation of E is only acted by the final E. We don't need any initial. We can just pronounce it without any initial, right? We just use the final E, then we can pronounce it. But when we're writing, we need to write an initial for it. Okay, so this is the first situation. And the second situation is when the final started with E have vowels following it. For example, vowels, we can see here is right? So in this situation, we will remove this E and put this final. We will remove final E and put initial E before it. For example, for this, yeah. When it is a syllable, we will remove E and we will put the initial E before it. Yeah. And for yeah, we will remove initial E and put final E before it. And this yao is the same. Remove the final E, put the initial E. And this one is the same. And this one, yang, is the same. And the yung, okay, yung, don't forget it. It is yung. And we remove E and put the initial E before it. And this one, you, this one is a little bit different. So for this one, do you remember? It is actually you, but it is written as this, you. So when we put the initial E before it, we will still get rid of this final E and put the initial E before it. Okay, so we can see in this situation, when the final begins with E, when there are vowels after it, we will remove E and put the initial E before it. And when it is you, we will still remove the final E and put the initial E before it. And for the other occasions, for E, in, and in, we will just put an E before it. We won't remove the final E. So it is the same as this, beginning with U. Okay, now let's see. First, when it begins with U, we will put this thing, this initial U before it. And when there are vowels after it, our then we will remove the final U and put the initial U before it. For example, wa, wo, wai, wan, wong, wong. We removed all of the final U and replaced it with the initial U. And another special occasion is ui and un. Although they are written like this, actually they are ui and un, these two, remember? And when we are writing it with the initials, we will remove the u and put the initial u before it. Okay, now last occasion, our last situation is beginning with yu. Yu, for yu, yuan, yuan, yun, these four finals, we will put the initial E before it, and you see we remove the two dots. We remove the two dots, okay? So it will be easier for you to remember the rules for it. But if you cannot remember the rules I said, you can just try to recite the table here, this table, okay? Now let's move on to next part. Part is the strokes of Chinese characters. There are two strokes for today. First one is 竖弯钩, which is vertical curved hook. Vertical curved hook. Curved. Okay, now let's see. The direction of writing it is from this and to this. First, try to write a vertical and then curve it. Don't turn like this, like a rectangle. Just turn it. Turn it here. Turn and then hook. Okay, hook. Try to write it. It is a vertical curved hook. Vertical curved hook. Okay, the example character is, first one is 7, which means 7. It is written first a horizontal and then vertical curved hook. And another example is left turn and a vertical curved hook, which means sun. Next stroke is 横折弯钩, 横折弯钩, which means horizontal turning curved hook. The difference between these two is just we put a horizontal here and then try to write a vertical and then curve it and then hook it. Okay, let's see the example character. So first one is 9, which means 9. 9. We will first write a left turning we learned before and then a horizontal turning curved hook. Horizontal turning curved hook. 9. Next one means how many? 几. It is the same. First a left turning and then a horizontal turning curved hook here. So these are the two strokes for today. One is this, 竖弯钩 vertical curved hook. Another is 横折弯钩 horizontal turning curved hook. Now let's move on to the single component characters for today. First one, qi. Qi, we just learned. It is a horizontal with a word. We just learned it. It is a shu, one go, vertical curved hook. Vertical curved hook. Qi, it means 7. 7. Okay, next one is we just learned it means sun. It means sun. Okay, it is written in this way. First, a short left turning, and then a little bit longer one, a little bit longer vertical curved hook. Okay, try to write it left turning and then a vertical curved hook. This means sun. Next one is ji. Ji, it means how many, and it originally actually referred to a small or low table. Now it means how many, and it still sometimes means a low table. And ji, okay, try to write it first, a left turning and then a horizontal turning curved hook. Okay, write again, left turning, horizontal turning curved hook. Okay, this is ji, really easy. And jiu, it looks like ji, but it is different from this part. This part, jiu, 9. It is first a left turning and then cross it. Okay, try left turning and a horizontal turning curved hook. This is jiu. Okay, 4 new single component characters for today. Try to practice. And the stroke order, second part of stroke order. We've learned before, in the last lesson we've learned the stroke order is first horizontal and then the vertical. First left turning and then right turning, right? And today is another stroke order is top to bottom, left to right. Actually, I talked about it before, right? So top to bottom. First, like which means 2. It is top to bottom. And when I want to write this character 3, sun, it is still the same. Top to bottom. The same. And let's see from left to right. First one is ji. Ji, we just learned it. It means how many, right? How many. And it is from left to right. First, left turning, and then a horizontal turning curved hook. Left to right. It is written left, right. And another example is ba, used in the from the left turning to right turning part as well. Ba. We will write the left turning first and then right turning later, after. Okay, this is left to right. So this is all for today's class. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to recite some of the rules of today, okay? See you next time. Bye-bye.